Dear soul, I feel the loving presence of angels around us as I connect with you today. They bring a delicate yet deeply significant message about that special person who has been occupying your thoughts and your heart. There is a pulsating truth that the beings of light wish for you to understand in all its intensity. This person wants you, dear soul, not with a superficial or fleeting desire, but with a force that comes from the soul, a longing that echoes in the depths of their being. It's a feeling that surprises them, that envelops them, that often leaves them breathless in front of the magnitude of what they feel for you. The angels show this connection as glowing threads that intertwine, a harmony that goes beyond words and earthly circumstances. It's as if their soul recognizes yours in an ancestral, familiar way, a comfort and discomfort at the same time. This wanting is not a rational choice. Even though their mind tries to find reasons and explanations, it's a magnetic attraction, a force that pulls them towards you, even when they try to resist. You represent for them a safe harbor, a source of light, an understanding that they may have never found before. Your energy, your essence, touch something very deep within them, awakening feelings that they may not have known they were capable of feeling with such vehemence. They think of you more than they admit, relive moments, imagine futures, feel your absence in a way that can be palpable in their quiet moments. But, and here lies the complexity that the angels ask to illuminate, there is a shadow looming over this potent feeling. Something from their past, an experience, a wound, an old memory, still holds a frightening power over their heart. There is something very important that you need to know about this internal dynamic of theirs. This shadow does not diminish the truth of what they feel for you. On the contrary, the intensity of the feeling may even make it more frightening, as it exposes them to a vulnerability that they deeply fear. It's like holding a precious treasure in their hands, but being afraid to hold it firmly for fear of dropping it or not being worthy of it. This old fear paralyzes them in crucial moments, makes them hesitate when the heart asks to move forward, creates invisible barriers that may seem confusing or even contradictory to you. The angels want you to understand that this hesitation is not about you. It's not a reflection of your worth or the beauty of your soul. It's an echo of their past, an internal battle that they constantly fight between the overwhelming desire to surrender to this connection and the panic of hurting again, of reliving something that deeply marked them. This duality consumes them, creating an emotional whirlwind that they often don't know how to navigate. They want you with a force that frightens them, and this fear is the great obstacle that prevents this story from blooming to its full potential at this moment. Before continuing the message, write this mantra in the comments. My heart is open to give and receive genuine love. This tunes your energy to the truth that is coming and opens your channels for deeper understanding. Now, continuing the message. The angels emphasize that this person is not indifferent. On the contrary, the intensity of what they feel for you makes the conflict even more acute. Imagine someone who longs for fresh water after a long walk in the desert, but fears that the source is poisoned by a past experience. The desire is immense, but the fear of the consequence holds them back. It's a constant struggle between the thirst of the soul and the memory of pain. They may try to distract themselves, occupy themselves, even convince themselves that it's not that important after all. But the truth always returns, especially in moments of silence, when the soul speaks louder. You're a constant presence in their thoughts, a lighthouse that illuminates the darkness of this fear, but also reminds them of the risk they feel when approaching the light. The angels ask for patience and compassion, not just for them, but especially for yourself, dear soul. Understanding this internal dynamic is the first step to protecting your own energy and not absorbing their hesitation as personal rejection. The truth is that their feeling for you is real and powerful, but is for now imprisoned by old chains that they still need to learn to break. The way they deal with this can be confusing. They may send mixed signals, but beneath it all, the soul's desire remains intact, waiting for the moment when courage overcomes fear. The angels are working to bring clarity and healing to this situation, but it's a process that requires time and understanding. Your presence in their life, even from a distance or intermittently, is already a catalyst for this healing. The light you naturally radiate challenges their shadows, inviting them to confront what scares them. But the nature of this fear is deeper than you imagine, and that's what we'll talk about next. If you feel that this message already touches your heart, consider subscribing so you don't miss any guidance, and share with someone who may need this light. Dear soul, let's deepen now the understanding about this shadow from the past that so frightens this person and prevents them from fully living the intense feeling they nurture for you. The angels want you to realize that this fear is not something vague or undefined. It has roots, it has an origin, a history that left deep marks on their soul. It's not about a simple caution or a fleeting insecurity. It's something more visceral, a defense mechanism that has become almost instinctive, activated every time they feel close to a true and deep connection, like the one they feel for you. You've already noticed that certain hesitations of this person don't make logical sense, especially when contrasted with the intensity they demonstrate in other moments. This inconsistency is a direct reflection of this old wound. It may be the result of a devastating betrayal in the past, an experience where they opened their heart completely and were deeply hurt, leaving a scar that makes them associate vulnerability with suffering. Or perhaps it comes from a history of relationships where they didn't feel valued, where love was conditional, or where loss was a constant, creating a limiting belief that meaningful connections are doomed to end badly or to cause anguish. It could also be something related to self-esteem, an old feeling of not being good enough, of not deserving such a complete and true love as the one they feel they could have with you. This feeling of unworthiness makes them sabotage their own chances of happiness, pushing away what they desire most for fear of not being able to sustain it or of eventually disappointing. The angels show this wound as a sensitive point in their soul, an area that they protect at all costs, even if that means depriving themselves of the joy and fullness that the connection with you could bring. When the intensity of the feeling for you increases, when the possibility of a future together becomes more real, this sensitive point is activated and fear floods them. It's an almost irrational panic of repeating the past, of feeling that same sense of breakage, abandonment, or inadequacy. They may not have full awareness of how this dynamic works, but they feel the effects: anxiety, the desire to retreat, the need to create distance to feel safe again. It's important, dear soul, that you don't interpret this as a lack of love or interest. The angels are clear. Their feeling is genuine and strong. The problem lies in her ability to deal with her own vulnerability and trust that this time it may be different. She's trapped in a cycle where desire pulls her close and fear pushes her away. It's a painful dance, both for her and for you, who observe this oscillation without fully understanding its causes. Now, before we continue this deep message, write 888 in the comments to call for balance and divine resolution that's on its way, so that healing energies can flow more freely into this situation. If these words bring any comfort or clarity, and you feel called to support our light work, a thanks heaps helps us immensely to continue spreading these messages of hope and love to so many souls that need it. Your subscription and sharing also amplify this current of understanding and love, allowing more people to receive this guidance. Continuing the message. The complexity lies in the fact that the stronger the feeling for you becomes, the more intense the fear also gets. It's a cruel paradox. What her soul craves the most is exactly what activates her defense mechanisms. She may even try to fight it, may have moments of great courage where she allows herself to get closer, where she openly demonstrates what she feels, but inevitably, the ghost of the past resurfaces, whispering doubts and fears, and she retreats confused and frustrated with herself. The angels ask you to observe the patterns. Are there specific triggers that seem to intensify her fear? Moments of greater emotional intimacy, conversations about the future, situations that require a higher level of trust and surrender. Recognizing these patterns can help her understand that it's not something personal against you, but rather an automatic reaction to a stimulus that reminds her of the original wound. She's, in a way, reliving the old trauma in the present, projecting past fears onto the current situation. The cure for her involves recognizing these projections, separating the past from the present, and learning to trust again, in herself, in love, and in the possibility of a different outcome. It's a process that requires self-awareness and courage, and it's not always easy or quick. But how does this fear from the past reflect directly on the way she acts towards you now? That's crucial for you to navigate this situation with more clarity and protect your own heart. We'll talk about that in the next part. Dear soul, now, we're going to shed light on how this wound from the past, this deep fear that haunts this person, manifests concretely in her behavior towards you. Understanding these manifestations is essential for you not to take her actions personally and maintain your own inner peace. What I'm about to reveal to you can change the way you interpret her actions and bring a new level of understanding to your heart. The main characteristic of this behavior is inconsistency. There will be moments when she'll seem completely devoted, present, loving, demonstrating clearly how important you are. In those moments, her soul manages to overcome the fear, and you feel the truth of the connection between you. They're periods of great harmony, where everything seems to flow perfectly, and the hope of a future together ignites strongly. However, abruptly and often without an apparent reason for you, she may withdraw. That warmth turns into coldness. Communication decreases. She seems distant, worried, or evasive. This sudden distancing is one of the clearest signs that fear has been activated. Something, perhaps a higher level of intimacy achieved, a plan for the future that became more concrete, or simply the intensity of the feeling itself, triggered her internal alarm, and the instinctive reaction is to create distance, to feel safe again. It's her defense mechanism kicking in to protect her from the vulnerability she so fears. Another common manifestation is mixed signals. She may say one thing, but act differently. She might verbally express a desire to be close, to build something with you, but her actions show hesitation, lack of commitment, or difficulty making decisions that solidify the relationship. She may send loving messages and then disappear for a while, or make plans and cancel them at the last minute with vague excuses. This ambiguity is terribly confusing and draining for the receiver, but it perfectly reflects her internal conflict. Her heart wants to, but her mind, haunted by the past, holds back. Before continuing the message, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, take this moment to do so. Your presence strengthens our community and helps us continue creating meaningful content for you. Your subscription is another light in our chain, continuing the message. She may also struggle to talk about deep feelings or the future of the relationship. When you try to address these topics, she may change the subject, minimize their importance, or even react with irritability. This doesn't mean she doesn't think about these things. On the contrary, she probably thinks about them a lot. But talking about it forces her to confront her fears head-on, and she may not feel ready or able to do so. Silence or evasion become a shield to protect her vulnerability. In some cases, fear may lead her to create problems where none exist, or to focus on small flaws or differences between you as an unconscious way to justify her distancing or hesitation. It's a way for her mind to find a logical reason for a fear that, deep down, is emotional and irrational, linked to the past. She may project her own insecurities or characteristics onto you, or those of figures from her past. The angels are sending you a special sign. Your lucky number for today is 7. Write in the comments, "I receive the energy of the angels." My lucky number is 7 and I am blessed. I send love and protection to the person I like and love so much. If this message touched your heart, show your support with a thanks a lot and help spread this message of light to other people who need it. This energy of the number 7 brings intuition and wisdom to understand the deeper layers of this situation. Continuing. It's crucial to understand, dear soul, that these behaviors, as painful or frustrating as they may be for you, are not a reflection of your worth. They are symptoms of her wound. She is acting out of a place of fear, not lack of love. The person who pulls back, who gives mixed signals, who avoids deep conversations, is the same person whose soul wants you intensely. It's this duality that makes the situation so complex. The angels ask that you observe these manifestations with compassion, but also with clear boundaries to protect your own energy. It's not about justifying her behavior, but understanding it so you can decide how you want and can deal with it. Recognizing that her inconsistency comes from fear can ease some of the weight of rejection or confusion you may feel. Each subscription is another light. Each share a bridge of hope for those who need to hear. But what exactly in the past left such a deep mark that it generates these reactions? Is there something more that the angels want to bring to light about the root of this fear? Dear soul, understanding this dynamic deepens when we realize the intensity of the internal battle that this person is facing. It's not a simple fight. It's a real emotional tug-of-war happening inside her, day after day. On one hand, there's the magnetic force of the soul, the deep recognition that you are someone special, someone who stirs rare feelings of purity and intensity within her. It's the part of her that yearns for connection, joy, sharing, and building something beautiful and true by your side. This force drives her to seek your presence, to open up in moments of courage, to dream of a future where love prevails. On the other hand, however, there's the shadow of the past, the ingrained fear that acts as a powerful brake. It's the voice of old experience that whispers caution, that recalls pain, that warns about the risks of vulnerability. This voice paints scenarios of loss, rejection, suffering, and advises her to protect herself, not to surrender completely, to keep a safe distance to avoid history repeating itself. This message reached you at the right time, but you need to understand her internal dynamics to avoid wearing yourself out trying to decipher contradictory signs. This internal battle consumes enormous energy. She lives in a constant state of emotional alertness, analyzing every step, every word, every feeling, trying to balance desire with fear. This can generate great tension, anxiety, emotional exhaustion, and even guilt. Guilt for feeling so much fear, guilt for not being able to surrender as she would like, guilt for perhaps hurting you with her inconsistency. The angels show that this person often doesn't fully understand the origin or intensity of her own reactions. She may feel confused, frustrated with herself, not knowing how to break this vicious cycle of approach and withdrawal. The signs you perceive externally are just the tip of the iceberg of this internal turmoil. You may notice this in a look that seems lost for a moment, even in the middle of a happy moment, in a sudden mood change without apparent cause, in a hesitation before answering a more intimate question, or in a sudden need to be alone after a period of great connection. They are small cracks in the facade she tries to maintain, revealing the struggle that happens beneath the surface. From the angel's perspective, this internal battle, as difficult as it may be, also represents an immense opportunity for healing and growth for her. The intensity of the feeling she has for you is actually bringing this old wound to the surface with more force, so that it can be seen, understood, and eventually healed. Your presence in her life acts as a mirror, reflecting not only the love she is capable of feeling, but also the barriers that prevent her from living it fully. It's a call from her soul for evolution. Before we continue with the guidance of the angels, let's do a powerful exercise of release that benefits everyone involved. Write in the comments a list of people, including yourself and this special person, that you would like to forgive for any misunderstanding, hurt, or difficulty. Visualize each one of them and yourself surrounded by violet light and say with your heart, I forgive you and release you. I forgive myself and release myself. May peace be with us. Feel the lightness and freedom that forgiveness brings, opening space for healing. Repeat this practice every day or whenever you feel the need, to strengthen your inner peace and release the energy of anxiety or resentment. Now, continuing the message, forgiveness, dear soul, is fundamental here, not as a way of accepting behaviors that hurt you, but as a way of releasing the emotional burden associated with them. Forgiving the person for the confusion they cause, which stems from their fear, and forgiving yourself for any frustration or doubt you feel, puts you in a place of greater power and peace. It allows you to see the situation more clearly, without the filter of hurt. The angels emphasize that your compassion and your ability to maintain your own light, even in the face of her inconsistency, are incredibly powerful. It doesn't mean you should wait indefinitely or accept everything, but your centered and loving energy creates a safe space that, indirectly, may encourage her healing. Understanding the root of this fear, the specific nature of that past wound, is the next step towards even greater clarity. We'll discuss this further. Dear soul, the angels now guide us to look more deeply into the specific nature of this past wound that so haunts this person. Although each soul has its unique story, there are common patterns that can help us understand the root of this fear that prevents her from surrendering to the love she feels for you. There's something very important you need to know about the nature of this old wound, as it shapes the way she perceives and reacts to love and intimacy today. Often, the root of this fear is linked to a significant experience of abandonment or rejection. It may have been in a previous loving relationship, where she was left abruptly or painfully, or perhaps even in childhood, in family dynamics where she didn't feel safe, seen, or unconditionally loved. This type of wound creates a deep fear of attachment, as attachment has become synonymous with future loss. She may struggle to trust that someone will stay by her side, especially when things get more serious or challenging. The idea of being abandoned again is so terrifying that she prefers to maintain a certain emotional distance as a form of self-protection, even though it makes her suffer. Another possibility is that the wound is related to betrayal or breach of trust. If this person has had her trust deeply shaken in the past, whether through infidelity, lies, or unfulfilled promises by someone important, she may have developed a great difficulty in being vulnerable and trusting again. She may constantly be looking for warning signs, even if unconsciously interpreting small things as possible indications that she will be betrayed again. Opening her heart to you means lowering these defenses, and that can seem extremely risky to someone who has felt the sharp pain of having her trust shattered. The wound may also be one of humiliation or excessive criticism. If she has lived through situations where she was constantly belittled, criticized, or ridiculed, especially in moments of vulnerability, she may have internalized a deep shame and a paralyzing fear of being judged. This makes her extremely sensitive to any sign of disapproval and very afraid of showing her imperfections or weaknesses. The idea of exposing herself completely to you, with all her flaws and insecurities, can be frightening, as she fears that you will also judge or reject her when you discover who she really is, according to the distorted view through the wound. In some cases, the wound may be linked to a great loss or unprocessed grief. The experience of losing a loved one in a traumatic way can create an unconscious fear of loving again, as love becomes associated with the pain of loss. Surrendering to a new love can seem like a betrayal of the past memory or simply too risky, as the pain of separation was so intense that the person will do anything to not feel it again. The angels show this wound as a kind of emotional ghost that accompanies this person. Even if she wants to move forward, even if she recognizes rationally that you are different and that the current situation is not the same as the past, the ghost is there, whispering fears and doubts, activating emotional reactions that seem to come from nowhere. It's important to understand that the intensity of her feelings for you can paradoxically make this ghost even more present. The more she cares, the more she has to lose, and the greater the fear of reliving old pain. Your loving and constant energy, dear soul, even if she doesn't consciously recognize or appreciate it, acts as a soft light that exposes these ghosts, not aggressively, but inviting them to show themselves so they can be healed. Your patience, your understanding, always with healthy boundaries for yourself, and the vibration of unconditional love that you emit can be a balm for her wounded soul, even if the healing process is internal and her responsibility. The angels recognize the challenge that this situation represents for you and send strength and clarity to your heart. But that's not all. There's something even deeper happening on the spiritual plane in relation to this, and the guidance of the angels for both of you is crucial at this moment. Dear soul, in the face of this complex tapestry of intense feelings and old fears, the guidance of the angels becomes an essential beacon, both for you and for this person. What the angels ask of you now is crucial to navigate this phase with wisdom and protect your own energy, while keeping your heart open to the possibilities of healing and love. Firstly, the angels ask that you focus on maintaining your own vibration high and your emotional center. It's easy to be dragged into the emotional roller coaster of the other person, feeling confusion, frustration, or hope reactively to their actions. However, your strength lies in remaining anchored in your own truth, in your own value, and in your own inner peace regardless of their oscillations. Take care of yourself. Nurture your soul with practices that bring you joy and serenity. The more centered you are, the less you will be affected by their instability, and the clearer you will have to make your own decisions. Secondly, the angels advise the practice of compassion combined with healthy boundaries. Understanding the origin of their fear does not mean accepting behaviors that disrespect you or cause you continuous suffering. Have compassion for their internal struggle. Recognize that they act from a wound, but be clear about what is acceptable to you in a relationship. Communicate your feelings and needs assertively and lovingly, without accusations, but establishing clear boundaries on how you wish and deserve to be treated. If their inconsistency exceeds your limits and causes you more anguish than joy, it may be necessary to reassess the dynamic and create a healthy space for yourself. For the other person, the angels are sending incessant healing energy and opportunities for the awakening of consciousness. They create synchronicities, inspire insights, put people or information in their path that can help them recognize and deal with the wound of the past. However, the angels respect free will. They can offer the door, but it's up to her to choose to cross it. The healing process is her responsibility. She needs to find the courage to look inside, to confront her ghosts, and to seek help if necessary, whether therapeutic, spiritual, or through self-knowledge. The intensity of feeling for you can be the greatest motivator for her to finally decide to embark on this healing journey. The angels also ask that you send love and light to this person, without expectations. Do this from the heart, as an act of spiritual generosity, sincerely wishing for their healing and happiness, regardless of the outcome of your relationship. Visualize her surrounded by golden or violet light, releasing the fears of the past and opening up to love. This loving energy that you send creates positive waves in the universe and can subtly support her in her process. But remember to do this detachedly, without trying to control the result. Before we continue, let's strengthen this current of positive energy. Share this video with 2 loved ones who need this message of hope and faith. Let's build a chain of love and mutual support together. Leave a comment with a simple prayer for your guardian angel, asking for clarity, strength, and protection for you and for this special person. Your prayer joins with those of many other souls, creating a powerful field of light. Now continuing the message, the main guidance from the angels for you, dear soul, is to trust in divine time and the greater process. Important lessons are being learned by both of you in this dynamic. For her, the lesson may be about healing, courage, and trust. For you, it may be about patience, self-worth, boundaries, and compassion. Trying to rush the process or force a result can create more frustration. Surrender the situation into the hands of the universe and your spiritual guides, asking for the best resolution for all involved. Keep the faith that true love, when it's meant to be, finds its way, but know that the most important love is the one you cultivate for yourself. Your peace and well-being should not depend on the actions or healing of the other person. Focus on blooming where you're planted, radiating your light. But will this person be close to overcoming that fear? The signs indicate something that the angels want you to pay attention to. Dear soul, the question that hangs in the air, filled with hope and perhaps a bit of apprehension, is this person close to overcoming the fear that paralyzes them? Will they be approaching a turning point where the desire of the soul finally overcomes the chains of the past? The angels indicate that the healing process is individual and non-linear, but they also show subtle signs that the internal pressure is increasing for this person and a change may be closer than you think. What I'm going to reveal next may indicate that a transformation is underway, even if it's not fully visible externally yet. One of the most significant signs is an increase in the intensity of their internal conflict, which may manifest in contradictory ways. On one hand, you may notice moments of greater vulnerability, where they allow themselves to express a little more of what they feel, perhaps sharing a fear, an insecurity, or a memory of the past. These moments of openness, even if brief, indicate that they are beginning to confront what haunts them. On the other hand, this greater vulnerability may be followed by an even more pronounced withdrawal, as if they were frightened by their own courage. This more intense oscillation may be a sign that the emotional tectonic plates are moving within them. Another clue may be a change in the way they talk about the past or about relationships. Perhaps they begin to mention old experiences with a different tone, not just of pain, but perhaps of reflection, of seeking understanding. They may begin to question their own patterns of behavior or express a desire for change. This suggests that the awareness of the origin of the fear is increasing, which is a fundamental step towards healing. Pay attention also to signs that they are seeking self-knowledge or healing in some way. They may mention a book they are reading, a therapist they have started consulting, a renewed interest in spirituality or well-being practices. Any movement towards self-care and introspection is a positive sign that they are, consciously or unconsciously, seeking tools to deal with their internal issues. The angels may also be sending signs through synchronicities that involve both of you. Perhaps you will meet unexpectedly more frequently, or hear the same significant song at different times, or receive similar messages from common friends. These coincidences may be orchestrated by the spiritual plan to create bridges, to remind her of the connection between you both, and to encourage her to take a step towards resolving her fear. However, dear soul, it's crucial to maintain balance. These signs are indicators of a process underway, but not guarantees of a specific outcome or a quick timeline. True change happens in her soul's time. What's most important for you is to observe these signs without becoming overly attached to them. Use them as a reminder that the universe is working, but keep your main focus on your own life, your own happiness, and your own growth. The internal pressure within her is indeed increasing. The soul's desire for you is a powerful driving force that compels her to confront her inner demons. The question isn't if she will deal with it, but when and how. And your energy, dear soul, your constant presence, even if energetic, your vibration of love and stability, acts as a silent support in this process. She feels your strength, even if she doesn't admit it. She draws inspiration from your light, even if unconsciously. Continue to be who you are, to shine your light, to tend to your inner garden. Your peace does not depend on her resolution, but your energy can indeed contribute to her awakening. Prepare your heart, for the veil between fear and action is becoming thinner. The possibility of a sincere conversation, of a moment of truth, is becoming more tangible. What will happen when that moment arrives? The answer lies in the clarity of your own heart. Dear soul, we've reached the crucial point in this message, where hope intertwines with reality, and the final guidance from the angels illuminates the path ahead. The central truth remains: this person wants you with their soul, but the shadow of the past still casts a significant fear. However, as we've seen, this dynamic is not static. The energy is in motion, the internal pressure within her is increasing, and the possibility of healing and transformation exists. The great message of hope that the angels bring is that the past, however painful it may have been, doesn't have to dictate the future. Wounds can heal, fears can be overcome, and love has immense power to heal and redeem. The healing journey of this person is theirs, but the connection between you both can be a powerful catalyst for this transformation. The love she feels for you, and perhaps the love you still feel for her, can be the motivation she's been missing to finally find the courage to face her demons and rewrite her story. The angels encourage you to maintain a perspective of hope, not a passive hope that just waits, but an active hope that focuses on your own well-being and growth, while staying open to positive possibilities. Trust in the divine process. There's a greater wisdom orchestrating events, even if we don't always understand the why or the when of things. Surrender your worries, your fears, and your expectations to the universe. Ask for clarity for your own heart. What do you truly want? What is truly best for your soul at this moment in your life? Be prepared to listen to your own intuition and honor your needs. If and when this person approaches with more clarity and courage, coming from a place of greater awareness about their fears and a genuine desire for change, you will have a choice to make. This choice should be based not only on her feelings, but primarily on your own feelings, your well-being, and what resonates as true for you. You will feel in your heart if her change is authentic, if there's a safe space to rebuild trust, and if this connection still serves your soul purpose. Always remember your immense worth, dear soul. You deserve a love that is consistent, respectful, and uplifting. If this person manages to overcome their fears and offer this, it could be a beautiful new beginning. If not, know that the universe has other wonderful plans for you, and the most important love is the one you nurture for yourself. Her journey doesn't define your happiness. Angels will always be by your side, guiding your steps, offering comfort and inspiration. Keep your heart open, your vibration high, and your faith unwavering in love in all its forms. The future is an open book, and you are the author of your own story. If this message resonated with you and your situation, write in the comments. Love has the power to heal the past. Share your experiences in the comments, as your story may inspire other souls who are going through similar situations. If you liked this video, like and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring content and messages of light. Thank you for watching, for opening your heart and allowing the angels to guide you. See you in the next video with more love and light for you.